Hi everyone, it's Jilly here from funcraftstodo@home.com, and as usual, if you don't want to listen to the voiceover, you can turn the sound down and the subtitles on. And this is the free printable that I have for you this week, and as usual, you can get this by going over to my website, which is www.funcraftstodo@home.com, and once you are on the site, you will need to find the link in the blog post that will take you to the page where the free download is. Now the only catch is you do need to watch this video to listen for the password that you will be asked for to log into that page. And it really is completely free for you to download and use this printable. I'm really not asking anything else of you apart from please watch the video. And one thing before I start, some people who know me in real life have said to me, "You talk really differently in your videos, talk really different to how you do in real life." Well, there's a good reason for that, and I'll tell you why. YouTube uses an automated subtitle system, and you may have seen videos where there's some really strange subtitles come up. Well, that is why I try to speak really clearly and probably slower than I do in real life, because it saves me time on going through to correct these subtitles, and it can actually save some embarrassing mistakes in the subtitles. So if you know me in real life and you think, she does really talk a lot differently to real life, there's the reason why. It saves me time in the long run, so I don't have to keep correcting the strange things that YouTube thinks I've said. To make the first pendant, you can either use a 2-inch circle punch, or you can cut it out with scissors if you don't have a punch. I do have a punch, so that's what I've used here. Then I cut 4 2-inch circles from cereal box card. Don't take any notes of those curvy ones, that was from a different project. And then next you need to glue them all together with some tacky white glue. I say tacky because it doesn't slide around so much when you're trying to get the circles even. But you could use any white glue, any kind of glue that you want to use. Up to you really, just use whatever you've got. You don't want to put loads on, but you want to make sure that you do cover the whole area and make sure that you do get it to the edges. So once you have stuck your cardboard circles together and you've put your design on, just grab a jar like the one that you see me using here and follow exactly what I do here. And this is to give your pendant a nice curve. And then you'll just leave the whole thing stuck to the jar with a rubber band, and when the glue has all dried in the layers, then your pendant is going to be permanently curved. and it will actually take on the appearance of an oval, and of course it's still a circle because that's what we cut out, but it's gonna look more like an oval and just more attractive. And here's what it looks like when it comes off the jar. It's really solid, and by the way, as you can probably guess, I did print the designs out onto high gloss photographic paper, a fairly thick one. Well, not too thick, I can't remember what the actual weight was. And then just do this around the edges with a permanent marker of your choice. I happen to use a red colour to match the red in the pendant. So the next thing you're going to do is make a loop to actually put a jump ring on so that you can hang your pendant on a necklace. I'm going to use a piece of wire to make my loop, and while I stick the backing on over the wire, I need to hold that in position with something, so I'm using a piece of double-sided tape. I've made my loop and I used 20 gauge gold coloured wire. So you can see I put the wire loop in position using the sticky tape to keep it in the place where I want it, and then I'd already cut a 2-inch circle from grey craft foam, and then using a glue gun I fixed the craft foam in place just to finish off the back of the pendant. And you can trim off any excess and just generally neaten up the edges if you need to. And actually I made a bit of a pig's ear of the foam on the back of this one, and that actually needs to be neatened up considerably more. Anyway, that's the first pendant, and now I'm going to show you how to make a smaller one. And this time I'm using a 1-inch circle punch, but again, if you haven't got a circle punch, just cut it out with scissors. You know, once you've got it inside the pendant bezel, if you get it a little bit wrong, it's not really going to make much difference. And to complete this pendant, you're going to need a pendant tray, also called a pendant bezel, and a glass cabochon, also called a glass dome. Now, to stick my glass domes to my design, I actually found this incredible double-sided tape. Now, I tried I don't know how many double-sided tapes before I found this one. It was very expensive, but it's very, very effective. You see, the problem is, as you can see from the pendant on the left, if you use a wet medium to stick the dome to the design, it can go all blurry. The one on the right, I used the double-sided tape. Now the one on the left, it's glossy, you see, I printed onto glossy, so I used diamond glaze to stick the design down and it went all blurry. Now this double-sided tape, although it looks pink, it's not. It's just the film that's on the double-sided tape that looks pink. But the pendant on the right was made like this, as you see me doing here, and it completely preserves the integrity of your design. There is no bleeding, there's no running. Now, diamond glaze is fine if you have printed your design onto matte paper. It can look really beautiful if you use diamond glaze, but I prefer to use glossy paper, and so provided you do what I'm doing here and you stick your design down really firmly onto that double-sided tape, you then cut round the design and you peel off that pink film, and then you stick your glass dome directly onto the design, onto that sticky surface that's left. Now, this is the only double-sided tape that I found after using, I don't know how many I tried. They all showed this one has been made specifically not to show. Now, I got this in the UK online. I will try and dig out where I got it from and put a link on my blog. And now you can see when I lift off that pink film, you can see how crystal clear the design is underneath. You would never know that there was any double-sided tape on top of that design. And it takes a little bit of practice to get the dome on in the right place. And then you can see mine's a bit raggedy around the edge, but it doesn't matter because it's going to go into the pendant tray, and I just kind of trim that edge off a bit before I put it into the pendant tray. See, that does look pretty good, but I must emphasise you can't use just any old double-sided tape for this. So I'm just burnishing that down with a popsicle stick. You can use bone fold or whatever you've got. And then when I'm happy that it's really stuck firmly, just trim around the edge to trim off any excess. And now it's time to put your design with its glass dome into a pendant tray. And it's up to you which way round you have the design. For the larger one I had the moon on the right, and for this smaller one I'm going to have the moon on the, I had the moon on the left. I still get my right and left muddled up. Yeah, so it's up to you which side you want to have the moon on, or you could have it at the bottom or the top. I'd actually use a glue gun, as you saw there, but I wasn't particularly happy with it because the glue went in a bit of a lump, and I ended up prizing it out, and I actually used some heavy duty double-sided tape in the end. So there are the two pendants that I've made with two of the designs on my free printable, the 2" and the 1". So next week I'm hoping to bring you a tutorial showing you how to make the smallest pendant out of the 3 sizes that I have put on this week's free printable. I have an idea that I haven't tried out yet, but if it works, it's going to be a really cute little pendant for those people who prefer something tinier. I know that there will be people that love the big 2" design, there'll be people that love the 1", but there will also be people that prefer something smaller and daintier. And that's what I'm going to be working on this week. And as I said, I've had an idea, I haven't tried it out yet. I'm pretty sure it will work really well. And so come back next week and you will see how I've used the smallest of the 3 sizes. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to like, and please consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates of all my new videos. Well, have a good week everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now. Oh my goodness, I think I forgot something. The password. So, the way that you get this free printable design is you go to my website, which is www.funcraftstodo@home.com, and on the post that goes with this tutorial, you will find a link to the page where you can get the free printable. When you follow that link, you will be presented with a page that requires a password, and the password this week is only for you. That's all in lowercase, only for you. So have fun using your free printable, and I look forward to seeing you next week.